All right, and then the next part of the assignment is to do the same gestural kind of drawing, but you're going to do it of a piece of furniture. And in this case, I'm lucky enough to have this rocking horse zebra lying around. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to be looking at it from the vantage point of slightly above it. So it might not look the same as if you were looking head on. And that's something to think about while you're getting your setup ready. You might want to experiment with viewpoints. Maybe you want to be right below it. Maybe you want to be head on. Maybe you want to be above it. Maybe coming from behind or the side. Play with it. It's up to you. One way to get a viewfinder is obviously if you have one. It's just like a little plastic rectangle or square. It's just basically like a tiny little picture frame. And it's a way of kind of mapping out what the area is that you're going to be looking at. Like right there, you see where my hands are capturing that spooky little drawing of a hand, or that spooky little drawing of a house, or that or the little profile of that shark head. There's a story behind that drawing that we'll talk about later when we go into comics. Yeah, so experiment with that. You can use a real viewfinder or you can use your hands just to make a little rectangle or square. I usually do it like that. Anyway, whatever way you want to work to get your little area set up, it's really different that we're doing things in this kind of computer format instead of you all being in the classroom looking directly at the same thing from different angles. It's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. I mean, if you've never been in a live drawing class before, that's usually how it looks. If you have, this is all new for you too. This is all very experimental. So if you have questions, obviously reach out to me. But really, I don't think there's really any wrong way to do this. This is all practice, building these muscles. Cool. So here I am doing gestural drawing to draw this rocking horse. I'm going to do the head and the nose and the mouth. It's slightly ajar. And his jaw and his ear, his other ear, his hair. His hair comes down to mid-back. Then there's a nice, foreshortening. That's going to be interesting. His little dowel that sticks out of his neck. That's where the hands go. And then the neck comes down here. And his legs are nice little long but meaty little ellipticals. And that's where his other little elliptical stops. An elliptical is just a stretched out circle. You'll be using that a lot in our later, I think week 7 or 8, we're going to be going over ellipses. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just so excited. I love them. And then you do another little ellipses over here for the bottom part of the rocker, the rocky part. And then another little one over here. And see, I'm just going really loosely with this. Probably going off the page as always, which is fine. When we go into like more formal composition setups, we obviously don't want to go off the page, but I would prefer if you're working big and kind of sprawling out rather than staying in your tiny, tiny little details. Because the thing that you want to be practicing is working larger because it's harder. And you have the support system to work larger now, so you might as well take advantage of it. And then we do a meaty little circle, ellipses, smushed square type thing for his body. And he's got a nice backside. And it's all kind of being viewed from the top. So I can really see a lot of the flat part of his back. And his tail is over here. It's slumped over. And there's his back leg. And the other ellipses. There you go. And then the rest of the rocking chair bit over here. You can flush things out too. If your proportions are off, you can go back in and work on it. There we go. That really, you just want to be practicing that loosening up of your drawing muscles and kind of trusting your eye and your hand and developing this hand-eye coordination and knowing that like this is, you have the freedom to be sloppy here and it could look pretty shit by the end, but this is, you know, I'm sure your first push-up wasn't awesome either. Color in some of the dark stripes. I'm just wasting your time now. You guys get started. I'm going to keep working on this because now I'm having fun. But yeah, you guys go do it too. Find your furniture object and go have fun.